What's up, everybody? Steve here. I came across an article. It states Kevin OLeary explains why he thinks NFTs will become bigger than Bitcoin. I want to review this article as well as talk about a little information of Gary Vee because he's been a big proponent of NFTs. And also I want to talk about another bubble that busted back in the early 1600s regarding the tulip bulb. That's right, the tulip bulb. So we're going to talk about all of that right now. Now, Kevin OLeary goes on to say his beliefs in the NFT stems from the idea that they can prove ownership of real-world items such as designer watches, flashy cards, digitally rather than with paper records. I don't know if anybody that's watching this is really in tune with NFTs. I'm curious as to if you guys are investing in them right now. But basically, essentially, they're a digital asset, and Gary Vee has been a big proponent in it as well, basically pushing NFTs, saying that that's really the next gold rush. But if you look at a lot that he's putting out there, and in the same breath, he's also saying that, and you can even see a Twitter thread right here, 98% of NFT projects that came out in 2021 will likely end up being bad investments for many that bought them. You know, right now we have a lot of money printing, and there's a lot of circulation of money. So people are really just trying to figure out where to put the dollar and where to put money into different assets. And NFTs have exploded. However, to me personally, I'm more of a tangible kind of person, and you know, I might dabble in the NFT world, and I know that people are making money. But if we look back in history of different bubbles and different cycles, we can see that a lot of things come to an end. A lot of things that maybe were really the perception that there was value there. If there's perception that there's value, then people are going to invest, and then eventually somebody's stuck holding the bag and overpaying for that asset. Now, I'm going to link all this in the description below for you guys as well. But if you haven't researched this before, and I'll put a link for Investopedia for this, but it's the Dutch tulip bulb market bubble. And essentially, basically, the late 1500s, the tulip, the flower, was introduced, and there was, you know, if you were affluent, if you had money, you had to have tulips in your possession, essentially. If you didn't, you were kind of looked down upon. You were not looked as if you had any money. So people wanted to be flashy, and then it started this huge craze because, you know, the Dutch didn't have tulips, and they were scarce, and everybody wanted them, and it caused for a huge bubble, and you can even see here, it says the rarest tulip bubbles traded for as much as 6 times the average person's annual salary, and then eventually everything came to zero. So me personally, I'm looking at NFTs in a way that, you know, you got a digital picture of something, and it's hard for me to get my head around it. And, you know, obviously Gary Vee is, you know, a very successful guy, and there's a lot of people making a lot of money in NFTs right now. But, you know, he claims that in the future, your wallet, your digital wallet is going to be really, you know, that's what you're going to be showing to people. That's going to be the future of everything. And he's saying, forget about the metaverse. He's saying it's going to be all based on digital assets that you own as opposed to real physical assets in this modern day and age. I don't know where it's going to go, and I don't know if I'm going to dabble in this market or not. If you look at that Twitter feed too, in the comment section, he says, please invest dollars that you can afford to lose. This is a highly risky asset class. And then he goes on to say, I am so bullish on NFTs overall over the last decade, the smart contracts, the growth, etc. But individual PRFP, etc. will be risky, and many will be left with the bag. I think a lot of people are looking at this as a gold rush. They're putting a lot of money into it. as well as other digital currencies and everything else. And I I don't know where it's going to end up, but I think that there's going to be value on certain digital assets, and they'll probably maintain value. But I think that even he's saying 98% of them are basically just going to pretty much be worthless. So I wanted to get this video out because I think it's important that you guys are very twofold. You're cautious with your money, and anything that you're investing into, I would suggest that you guys put a lot of time, research, energy, and effort into where you're putting your money, because ultimately that's what it's all about in terms of growing your wealth and continue that growth. And the last thing you want to do is invest in something you don't know much about, and then that becomes worthless. Anyway, I appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate all the subscribers on this channel. Thanks a lot.